What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn. Get this. Eddie Hearn states that Anthony Joshua wants to outskill Oleksandr Usyk. Let me counterpunch. I don't know if Anthony Joshua has told him that. I don't know if this is Eddie Hearn's opinion. I think this is based off of what maybe, hopefully, Eddie Hearn thinks Anthony Joshua wants to do, okay, versus what he believes or what Anthony Joshua says or believes that he's going to do. Now, if that is what Anthony Joshua thinks or said or believes, that's a problem. That's a big problem. That's a big no-no. Because doing that is like saying, hey, let me try to be better at something that I know someone else is better at. Okay? That's just like saying, let me try to brawl with a brawler. Let me try to hook with a hooker. Let me try to outbox a boxer. You don't do any of those things. Doing those things is doing exactly what the other fighter wants you to do because he's better at it. He wants you to box. Oleksandr Usyk wants Anthony Joshua to go in there timid, to go in there cold, to go in there trying to outbox a fighter that's been doing that twice as long as Anthony Joshua. Okay? And that could be a disaster in the making. A disaster in the making. Okay? Let me give you a major example. Is when Canelo Alvarez, at 23 years of age, tried to go in there, or was he 22? He was either 22 or 23. I think he was, it depends on, no, he was 23. He goes in there and tries to outbox Floyd Mayweather. And then in that fight, we seen where Canelo was at the time, what his limitations were, where they began and where they stopped. We saw the flaws. We saw the anxiousness. We saw the counters. We saw magic in the making. Floyd Mayweather stood in front of Canelo Alvarez and did exactly what Canelo Alvarez is doing pretty successfully now with other fighters of lower opposition. Okay? And he could do that with those type of guys, the Danny Jacobs and the Golovkins and the Billy Joes, is because he knew that he was better than those guys. Okay? He wasn't in there with a Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather showed him what the sweet science was about. And he did it on the inside. Okay? See, Floyd used everything that he needed, but he didn't do too much. He didn't get too overzealous. He didn't get too greedy. He countered when he needed to counter. He did beautiful movement with the catch and shoot. It was one of those performances at age 36 that showed Floyd was that great. Okay? But Canelo Alvarez, he was putty in his hand when he tried to outbox Floyd Mayweather. Instead of him going to the body, working the body, knowing, hey, let me jab upstairs, let me crack to the body like he does now with fighters that move, he decides to try to outskill the guy that has more skill. And that's always a bad thing. You never want to do that. Okay? Because you're doing exactly what that person wants you to do. The objective is a guy that's a boxer like Oleksandr Usyk, like Floyd Mayweather, but really like Oleksandr and Anthony, because this is what we're talking about. Let's cut the example, right? Oleksandr Usyk is a guy that can box. He can box and he can turn it up when he needs be. He can throw combinations. His combinations are at different angles. You know, I think that Joshua, if he goes in there trying to paw out certain things, Oleksandr Usyk and he doesn't keep him back with the jab, Oleksandr Usyk is going to use those angles to catch Joshua when Joshua's not looking, okay? And when you surprise Joshua, he will elude. He will, okay? He will elude. He'll go backwards. And if Oleksandr Usyk catches you going backwards, he's going to hit you with that initial shot. Oh, he's going the way in the direction I want him to go. Here's 3 more as you go backwards. Okay, that's Oleksandr Usyk. So that talking about trying to outskill, outbox Oleksandr Usyk, because that's what he's talking about. He's talking about the boxing ability, the ring IQ of a guy that's been doing it longer than a guy that's been an amateur as long as he's been a pro, right? Twice as long. So you're trying to do that. That is a terrible idea. Again, I hope this is what Eddie Hearn thinks Anthony Joshua is trying to do instead of what Anthony Joshua said or believes that he's going to do. Because if it's Anthony Joshua and he thinks that's a game plan, that's the wrong game plan to be doing against Oleksandr Usyk, okay? And that's exactly what you don't want. You don't want a timid AJ going in there to try to figure out a guy like Oleksandr Usyk, because he's going to know that you don't belong in there, and he's going to know that you don't know what the hell you're doing. Okay? He's going to know that. He's going to know, okay, this guy's not throwing power shots at me. He's not going in for the kill. He's not fighting me. You fight boxers. You don't box boxers, because that's what boxers want you to do. Boxers want you to come in there and box them so they can set up traps. Some things that you never learned, some things that they're better that they're better than you at. Those are the type of things. That Edislandi Lara type of shit, you couldn't outbox Edislandi Lara if you just sit there and try to, match boxing skill for skill. That won't work. Ask Canelo that. Okay, speaking of Canelo, he couldn't do that with Lara because Lara was the supreme boxer. He didn't get success until he started working the body and throwing bombs. Okay, that's what Anthony Joshua is going to have to do, especially for ring generalship, especially if he wants to convince judges that, hey, I'm winning this fight with my dominance, my size, and my overall aggression. Okay, because I'm throwing power shots, I'm landing some of them, and I'm pressing the challenger backwards. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on this particular title. You guys tell me what you think. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.